2 weeks ago we beat the ladder leaders. This week, they're not on the bottom, are they, anymore? West Coast. No, Richmond is.
No, Richmond are. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, what do they say? Like peaks and valleys, hills and valleys? You can only beat who's in front of you. And we won.
Yeah, we did.
Weekend. Yes. Welcome to Red, White and Black Chat, everybody. Kat, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Fantastic to have you back. And Super Sub, she's back again.
Super Sub.
Hi. No, we're right to have you, Anna. Welcome back.
I'm happy to be here.
Shout out to Soz. We hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
It's bloody winter, isn't it? Gets to the point where everyone just gets stuck
Touch
down.
wood, it's not your turn next week.
Oh, look, I've got an immune system of like absolute steel at the minute.
Love that.
Ish. Mainly because like my kid coughs into my mouth on a daily basis, but I love it. So disgusting. How are we feeling after the weekend?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, just
Very good.
Yeah.
Oddly, like calm.
Yeah.
It was a very weird calmness to everyone Saturday afternoon after that game. It was weird.
Is it because we haven't like belted someone in a long time?
I'm imagining it was like just the most beautiful Saturday afternoon you could possibly ask for, you know? It's just felt like a day.
You don't really know how to stomach a belting as a St Kilda supporter. I feel like
when we're winning.
Exactly. yeah, exactly.
We know how to do it on the opposite.
Yeah. And we're really used to like stomaching heart attacks. But I think you're right, Anna. Like I felt weirdly calm too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but we shouldn't feel calm after we belted a team. Like I don't know.
Weird.
Am I making sense?
No, I get it.
You're like, oh, okay, we can't do it.
Well, I was going to say we're feeling very calm because Kat, Sorrel and I were so generously invited by Meg.
We love you, Meg.
Kat in particular, I'm going to go out. You and Meg are going to end up together. I'm
agree.
just saying it.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
you know what?
Yeah.
I welcome that because it's the best union. But we love you, Meg. We love you. And we were lucky enough to go and sit in a corporate box on Saturday.
Which is pretty unreal.
Well, we'll be lucky if they have us back. No, I mean, no, like we were very well behaved. It was mainly because it was at the end where we started to heckle like Ari and Hugo Garcia when they were doing their warm down.
I did forget about that.
No, it was not heckling. It was encouragement.
Yeah. I was like, give us a wave. And we were like, shoo, shoo, shoo. He did laugh. He laughed. And they both gave us a wave.
Yeah.
And then on their second lap, I was like, oh, poor Hugo.
Yeah, better
like,
give him some love.
We better give, Garcia some love. So I'm like, we love you too, Hugo. And he's like, yep.
But the best is that he did a wave, didn't turn around, didn't look. It was just like, hey.
Because the stadium was empty by that point,
wow.
like empty.
Yep.
But we were enjoying the luxury of a private
hospitality.
butler. Like,
It was just a whole different way
unreal.
to experience the football, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was
isn't
weird.
it?
So weird
It's
in a
so
good
fun.
way.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, so
and
fun.
just actually, like besides all that, like just a really great like Saints brew.
Yeah.
Like it was really just, I think it was in fitting with the theme, like you were saying, Anna, just good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
love
good
good vibes.
It was
Yeah.
good, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was quite the same in aisle 29. We were in a good mood. Everyone was in it was so interesting because even I think at the start of the game, we were all just happy to be there.
Yeah, it's
Nobody
good, isn't it?
was there going, oh my God, I hope we belt them. It
Yeah.
was just happy to be there.
Yep.
We were chanting for everyone, even if they didn't get a goal.
Yeah.
And it was just good times.
Well, we were down the opposite end of the aisle, and let me tell you, you could hear the aisle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the Mason Wood chant.
that one is loud.
radiated.
Oh, yeah.
That one comes across the telly.
Yeah.
And how about Ollie at the end? He was giving a shout out again to the aisle on the ground, got Mason
saw
Wood
that.
tattooed on his arm. What a day. What a day to be a Saints fan. Look, I don't want to be negative early, but you know, it's been too positive. There were like 3 people there on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
that's very hyperbolic, but like, I don't know.
18,000, I think I read.
Mhm.
I know
But there
the
were
weather
quite
was-
a lot of Eagles supporters.
And this is the
So we
thing,
probably
right?
had what, 10?
I don't know, maybe 15.
So how many did you say in total? 18.
18.
Like, I know it was crappy weather,
Mm.
but we play under the roof. So there's that. Okay, it was like 1 o'clock was a
Yeah.
1:45 game.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could say is maybe, kids sport, whatever, getting in the way. But I don't know. Like we're approaching August, and if you're not playing finals, that for me, I'm like, get to the footy as much as you can.
Yeah, well, that's it.
It's going to run out.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
But I will say that the trams were messed up.
Okay.
So I actually normally it only takes me a half hour, and it took me an hour. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that didn't help either.
And I suppose
there were lots of Saints supporters on
True.
the tram.
Well, that's very fair. And Microsoft like blew up. So
also that.
Maybe I'm being too hard, but I'm just like, I don't know. I think it was on the mind because Richmond last weekend, not the weekend just gone, one before, they had 20,000 people at their match at the G against GWS when they've got this massive supporter base. Talk about fair weather.
Wow.
I'm just
Richmond.
I'm just like, show up.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
especially
and that
when we're
one-
likely to get a win.
Exactly. That one you kind of expected that we would, but I guess it would have been really gut-wrenching if we hadn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
but,
fair.
Yeah. I mean, I was slightly worried about that game, to be honest with you.
Really?
Because one, it was a milestone. So that never
That's
goes
true.
well. And also because the Eagles only lost by 2 goals to Brisbane the week before. And I was like, what kind of team are we going to be playing? Are we going to be ready?
They're a bit like us in the sense that you never know what you're going to get.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like you never know.
No.
So you don't know what kind of side that the Eagles decided to show up that day.
Well,
you know,
I don't think they showed up.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like they were.
But we got lucky, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But they were, but at the same time, like, I don't want to disrespect the Oppo. Like, I'm not about that life. I'm really not. They were not good.
That's not disrespectful. That's true.
Well, that's like from just having just watched
poor
it,
performance.
right? Yeah, they were. They weren't great. I was saying this before to Kat. Like, I heard a stat about West Coast. I want to say it was just in the second half, but they had no tackles inside. 50.
Oh, yeah.
0.
That's correct. That was for many quarters, actually.
Like,
no tackles.
And
insane.
Again, I've never played footy at the highest level, but pressure doesn't take any talent, does it? Like to tackle, to bring someone to the ground. Yeah, that's
maybe we're just a bit biased because we have the tackling machine in Jack Steele.
I mean, maybe.
So we're like, why can't everyone just do it?
Wet Steely.
I don't know. I think we're very critical of the Saints when we don't keep our tackles. It's just that
that's very true.
this game we did.
Well, and our
we
pressure
did.
in particular was particularly high. I think that stood out for me big time from watching the match. Like our pressure was really good, despite where it's hard, like to see where you're at. I don't want to disrespect the opposition, but our pressure was really good.
Yes.
But it was good
against
who
showed up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you can only
200 the pressure gauge.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I think I'm maybe asking a bit too much.
I think that we one of the things that always bothers me about the current day Saints is that it seems like we play to the level that the opposition is kind of bringing to the game.
Oh, yeah.
And we did not do that Saturday. We've just played above.
Yeah. Which is what we were saying before, right? Like, because we don't belt teams.
Yeah.
And then we did it because we didn't match what they were giving us. Yeah.
Kind of like, what?
Yeah.
I have, like, to me, in all the games, since I've gotten here.
And aren't we better for
since I've gotten here.
Yeah.
Since I've watched football.
Yes.
I think this was a very different game to any of the other games I've watched the Saints play, because I think in all the other games, the Saints looked like they really wanted to win.
Yeah.
But in this game, they looked like they wanted to be the best team on the field.
I feel
they
like
wanted
that's
to play
saying
their
a
best
lot.
football. Yeah. And I never saw a moment where they let up. I never saw a moment when they're like, oh, we're good. They never did it. They were disciplined and they played their best football.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it wasn't amazing, but they played their best football and they had their hearts in it the whole game.
Yeah.
And that's so different.
Yes.
That's like the fire stuff. That's the fire that gets you.
You're right. Yeah. It's
where you
almost like
need.
you'd call it almost like clinical. You know?
Yeah.
It was, get the job done, try not to get anyone injured.
Yeah.
And get through. And you're right, not let up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
our fourth quarter showed that.
That's why we flogged them. Like, I don't think we were going out there going, oh, we're going to flog them.
No.
We went out there and we were like, we just want to play our
Play our
best
way.
football. And we did.
Yeah.
We finally did.
Yay!
Woohoo, and it worked.
You're right. Like just play our way for all 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then West Coast really, they kept with us for a bit, especially they
First half was scary.
Look, they responded in the first half. Yeah. But again, really glad to see that we, stuck to our guns and sort of turned up the pressure.
Exactly. It meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like they responded and we were like, no, we're just going to keep. We didn't get calls from the umpires, didn't matter.
Yeah.
The momentum didn't drastically swing through it was just that we just stayed composed and we played a full game of football.
Yeah.
So props to those Saints.
And so it should
well
be,
done.
right? Because we are a better side than West Coast. It's
Well, yeah.
I know it sounds so simple. We are a better side.
Yeah.
So the result on the weekend should have been how it was. We are so much more a better side. But,
Yeah.
it's fascinating, isn't it? Going forward, there's such a logjam for teams trying to get into the 8. I'm not counting us as one of those this year.
Oh.
No, I know. It's fine. We're not. We're not.
But it's got me thinking. I'm like, well, we're this far ahead of West Coast. We're 10 plus goals ahead of West Coast.
Yeah.
But we're 5-6 goals behind Adelaide, supposedly, who are just above us?
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
It's
Supposedly.
And
bit
a
no man's
point
land a little
behind
bit,
GWS.
But yeah,
that still kills me.
but can also beat the ladder leaders.
Yeah.
Isn't
hard
that
to
just
know where we're at,
Saints
right?
Footy, baby?
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
It's
it's just-
trademark.
yeah.
Saints Footy TM.
Like it's just us in a nutshell.
Yep.
Like
Where are we?
good enough to beat Sydney will win the flag. I'm calling it out.
Yep.
Good enough to beat, the soon to be reigning premiers, but struggled against Port.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens when we get to
And the
Richmond.
Crows.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Who
Like,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah, who knows
like
at this point?
I won't be surprised when we do play Richmond if it's a close one, B, a loss. I won't be surprised.
I don't know. I think
then-
we're different. I
don't
think
know.
something's
You reckon?
I think something's slightly different.
And may I say,
The lights
I think it's just, I think the goal is different. And because the goal is different, the performance is different.
yeah.
dare I say as well, Richmond are a different side at the minute too.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they
just
are.
like their spark is
Yeah.
just
Jack Sill did say post-match that they're treating every game like a finals game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if, something has changed in their mentality. And maybe finally, because Port was our 10th loss under 10 points, and maybe that finally clicked in their minds and they're like, oh shit, that's annoying because if we kicked an extra 2 times 10, bad at math, you get
20.
if we kicked an extra 20 goals, if we kicked an extra 20 goals this season, we'd be up there with Sydney.
we would be premiers.
We would be premiers. We would be premiers. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they have a bit of oomph in them for that reason. I don't know. I'm not a psych, but that's just my personal opinion.
It's a good call. I think, it's this time of the year is funny really, isn't it? Especially if you're not going to play finals. There are a lot of players who, sort of playing for their future as well. Got players like Riley Bonner who don't have a contract going into next year. Hate to say it. I'm not premeditating. Dougal doesn't have a contract for next year, I don't think.
He will within the next day.
Just saying for right now, he doesn't. It's a factual thing. Don't come at me, okay?
You know what's weird?
I've been channeling him. Sign the
I
papers.
find Riley Bonner to be a mystery because
Really
every
enigma.
time I watch him play, I want to complain about his errors. But then when I look at his stats, he has good stats, and I don't.
Yeah.
What is the mystery of? I don't get it. Like his disposal efficiency was 90% in that game, and he was
wild.
making errors.
No, but I
don't get it.
I saw on the weekend, I didn't mind Riley Bonner's game. But you're right. I think it's because you're acutely aware if he does something wrong because he sort of had that track record of having a bumpy ride.
Yeah,
So if he
maybe.
does something makes an error, you really notice it. Whereas if Naz makes an error, I'm like,
Yeah.
That
I
may
actually
be.
find this really funny because I've been defending Bonner for the longest time and his game on the weekend infuriated me. How weird is that? Do you know what? It was that play. Why, I'm going to speak on behalf of Saucia because she says it every week.
she does.
Why does he try to kick a goal every week?
I don't know.
And then I'm sure you guys remember the passage of play, or you may have, wanted to forget about it quite instantly. But he literally missed the target by 22 meters.
22
22 meters. Like, babe, who are you kicking it to? There was no one there. He wasn't even aiming for the big sticks. He was just, there's the pill. Like, what? So, it's like little things like that. But I have been backing him up literally all year. I'm like, guys, he's not that bad. Like, look at the stats. He's not that bad. And then
how just
I just don't know. I don't get
can
it.
you be good? But then when you're watching, you're like, you're not that good.
Yeah, I don't get it.
But he is, but he's not.
Do you know what?
I don't know. It's a
he
mystery.
is Saints Footy in human form.
He is Saints Footy.
He is Saints
Essentially.
Footy.
It's like, what is going on? Like, why?
Was that Borat?
You
Sometimes
can-
maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Like,
It's Borat. It's from like
What is it?
It's from like soccer. I want to say it's like European soccer.
Yeah.
Coach.
It's a soccer
I love
coach.
that.
So good.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Is it
It's
not
so
Borat?
good. No, it's just like a soccer coach.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
a meme.
Yeah, it's a meme. Oh, red, white, and black chart for all your pop culture references. Well, I mean, like it was a good team game on the weekend. Of course,
Yeah.
any belting is.
Yeah.
I want to look. I won't start with Cooper because that's too predictable.
Mm.
My man Coop, who look at the receipts back through the week. I've defended him. I want to talk about Naz.
yes.
So,
Welcome back.
don't we miss him? We know we miss him, but again, statistically, something that stood out for me. I was doing some reading after the match. He's third in the overall competition for meters gained,
Correct.
Yeah.
and it's something like it didn't surprise me at all. But he's
Doesn't that show his work rate?
But
He's up
also
there
how
for-
essential he is.
Yeah. He's up there for bounces too.
Yep.
He's got quite a few
Of
bounces.
course, because he's driving
Yeah.
the ball forward all the
Yeah.
time, right? So, yeah, he was sensational on the weekend,
Mhm.
as was, again, another shout out that I want to give to someone who's had a really rough year, which is Tim Membry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good boy, skunk.
Absolutely.
It was his highest rated game of his career.
fantastic because
Aw.
he's battled. And look, this year I know has been a rough year for him. But if you just want to rewind, when he was playing in the forward line with like Josh Bruce,
Yeah.
and again, really lean years, he was essentially I would say our best forward during that time.
100%.
He has battled and battled for our club. And
Yeah.
I know.
He would never miss a mark.
No.
Like he genuinely would never miss a one-on-one contest.
No.
I mean, he didn't have a lot of support around him. And I'm not taking that away from how good he was back then.
Yep.
But it's really good to see him like the confidence, right?
Yes.
Like he was backing himself on the one-on-one contest. And even if he did lose those one-on-ones, which he did do a few times, right? But who cares? He kicked what, five
Five.
to
Yeah, I
make
think
up
it was
for
five.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he would, he wouldn't drop his head and he would like apply the pressure. He would lay a tackle,
He had 7
et cetera, et
tackles.
cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic,
See, there
wasn't
you
it?
go.
Yeah.
It's those
Good.
1%ers that
Oh, yeah.
makes Tim.
For sure.
And we
he
love
was
him for it.
He was just on, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just good to see.
And
Yeah.
like you say, Kat, like we love him for it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's not that it hasn't, I don't think you can go out there and say like, he wasn't trying or any footballer wasn't trying. Like I know people have said that about Zach Jones in the last few years. He wasn't trying. Rubbish.
Yeah.
But
Look
it was
at him.
just great to see
now.
that it was, on the
Mm.
weekend. Just great to see it all clicking for Tim. Like that goal, that like Dom Sheed-esque goal. I mean, different stakes. Right tucked into that pocket down the city, not city. What end is that? The knot.
I don't know what it's called.
Do you know? I want to say it's the Lockett end.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I was
that's
going
a
to say,
lot-
the look at it.
Is
No, it's the Frawley end. Whatever. The
I
end
don't know.
that if you're watching on the TV, you're looking to the right.
The look at end.
That's right. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
That end
I think.
in the second quarter, I think, where he kicked that beautiful goal.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it. And it really got the crowd involved too. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's feeling good.
Bless
And
him.
for
He
someone
was.
who's had such a public battle sideline
Yeah.
with
Mm.
mental health, it's just really wonderful to see someone get back to their best and just to be enjoying their footy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having his mates get around him.
He wound back the clock.
You'd
I
love to
agree.
see
He
it.
did wind
Yeah.
back the clock because actually, like, it's like this game was all the old school guys.
Yeah.
Sinclair had a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Steely had a good game. Brad Hill was in it. And I think he probably regrets not kicking that goal at the end. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
he said that in the post-match interview.
That's all right. But yeah, they all had a good game and it was nice to see. Because
Yeah.
I think that continuity has not been there, It's
Yeah.
like one will
Yeah.
have a good game,
hasn't.
the other one won't or whatever.
That's
They're just
exactly
gonna try.
right.
Yeah.
But then also on that note, it did feel like old school Saints footy, didn't it? But I really want to talk about Darcy Wilson. Welcome back, Wilson. That kid just does not stop.
Yeah.
Does not stop.
He's got a massive tank.
Oh, he's it's just insane. His work rate is just like literally it's unmatched in the team. I mean, you could argue that Nasaya is like kind of on par with him and the Hill is probably up there, but I do feel like Wilson takes it that extra level.
It's different.
It is different.
Yeah, the endurance is different for Wilson and Nazire or Hill. Like, they have it, but it's different. I'm with you.
Yeah, very true. But I feel like on the weekend in particular, he just literally did not stop.
No,
and
you're right.
I'm so excited to see what he can do for us.
Yes.
Oh yeah, me too.
He's a baby.
And such a mature body for a baby. Like he'd still be 18.
Yeah.
Maybe 18, 19.
Yeah.
Imagine when he's 22, 23, starting to hit his straps.
I know we're off it, but I just want to say one thing about Membry, even though we're past him.
Go back to Timmy.
I will say there's another thing that doesn't show up in a stat that you may not always see that he's been doing all year. And he's just had really amazing leadership down there.
Yeah.
So there's no one else to like keep the calm or to give instruction. And he's been doing it all season.
Yeah,
so
you're so right.
He has been doing that.
Yeah.
So
no, you're totally right. And again, if people's eyebrows were raised when he wasn't in the leadership group at the start of the year, people going, there's rumblings. He's all heart. You're right. Just so nice to see him get
because when he's not in the side, our forward line is incredibly young. Like who would the eldest be? Would be Butler, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Who's still quite young.
Yeah.
So you're right. Like we are missing that leadership.
Yep.
And obviously, Kingy has had his like battles and things like that. So really there's no confidence in the forward line. Like Higgins struggles with his confidence. We know this. We've spoken about this.
Yep.
Butler doesn't kick enough snags to be in that conversation because he's too busy applying that forward pressure.
Yep.
But who else? Like Cooper is a fetus. Like,
he's
there's
still new.
Yeah,
He's still at uni.
Yeah, still at uni.
Studying finance.
He had to go home and rewatch the lectures that he missed on the weekend.
Just a briefcase. Oh, so funny.
But we are. I feel like we tend to forget how young we actually are.
Yep.
Yeah.
And people, I think as a supporter, it's natural. You're going to get frustrated when you don't see that development early, but you have to bide your time, like you say, especially with so many young kids. Membry is a solid body. He's an excellent mark, as you say, Kat. And it's good. Let's hope he strings a few good games together now. Off the back
I
of
hope so.
Some confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned Cooper before.
Yes.
Oh, my boy. Coop.
I love Cooper
I
Sharman.
love Cooper
Take the floor,
Sharman.
girls, and then it's my turn about Dougal Howard.
I know. It's been a while since we mentioned Dougal. We'll get to Dougal.
Take the floor.
But again, someone who is going to benefit from someone like Tim Membry's guidance because Cooper has an excellent set of hands as well. One day he's going to fly for one of those screamers that he does so often. He's going to bring it down and it's going to be nuts. But yeah, a really, really solid game. Really, he's a really good shot on goal. He's a funny kick of the ball, but he's an accurate kick of the goal.
Yeah.
Kick of the goal. Kick of the ball, kick at goal. So, yeah, massive pump up for Coop.
I thought it was a little weird though. Like, I do think our midfield, when they were kicking into the 50, were often just kicking these very high bombs to the smalls.
Really? Because we haven't done that. Oh, yeah.
Which was confusing to me because Jack Higgins is not that tall.
No. He's a small forward.
Yeah. He's the
I
comer.
literally think he's my height.
Yeah.
And I'm not tall.
I mean, I would have expected, I thought they would have kicked it to Cooper more often.
Yep.
Which is fine that they didn't, but
not for me. I wanted him to kick 10.
me too.
But you know what? It's good. Let's not fall into those habits of like a Max King, game plan.
I think ironically, I want Max in the side, but we've talked about it previously. I think our forward line sort of frees them up a little bit when Max is not in the team.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, not necessarily not in the team, not necessarily down forward all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's something to work for there going forward when Maxie does come back into the team.
Yeah,
and where he plays.
I absolutely think they need to find a different role than he's been playing for the last couple of years.
Even if it's just to get his confidence back, help him work on his goal kicking craft, get some confidence back before putting him maybe at centre half forward or something like that. Because I see the Charlie Curnow in Max. I know it's in there. He needs to
It's a
I want
mental
him
thing,
to be
I
better
think.
than Charlie.
Yeah, don't we all? No, but you know what I mean? I know when I say that, I mean, I know he can take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah.
I just know he's got it in him, but
It's just getting him there.
Yep.
Oh my, I just remembered something.
What?
Sorry about the gasp. Okay, so rumor has it, and by rumor, I mean like this really stupid St Kilda groups that I'm a part of on Facebook.
well, if it's on Facebook, I mean, it's
exactly
obviously
right.
fact. Yeah.
So it is then 110% confirmed that Battle re-signed with us during the week.
Yes.
Because it was just like a comment thread. But when he kicked the goal, apparently all of the boys got around him. And then I went back specifically to watch that footage, and I'm like, yes.
Someone asked during the Platt chat, actually, do you think it means something that he held Bradley Hill up like he was and I was like, I don't know. I didn't even notice that. I didn't
notice that either.
I was too happy about the win. Like I wasn't looking at who's holding Bradley Hill.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Wow. That's really interesting.
That's
I love
amazing
that.
news. Maybe that's why we played so well. Maybe we were so stoked
pumped
that
up.
he would stay.
It's like you know how Pixar movies, they do little Easter eggs and they hide stuff in it? Maybe that was like a St Kilda Easter egg on the weekend. No, but you know, it's interesting you say that about that goal from Battle because that's something I noticed but didn't notice at the time.
Yeah.
I saw everyone get around him. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe because he doesn't kick many goals. I'm going to go back and watch that bit now.
Now I am too, and I've already
It's
seen
worth
it twice.
it's worth watching.
Oh, you love to
and again, it's like it's definitely 110% true because it was posted on Facebook. Yeah,
that's true. And
we'll hear it
that's
tomorrow.
exciting.
what is Facebook if not an excellent place to take in people's opinions?
truth.
Yeah, the
It's a
truth,
beacon of truth.
the truth, and people's opinions. I think we're on a high, so let's not spend too long on any sort of downs or low points. We will come to, I think, the one down point from the game is obviously Liam Henry
Yeah.
Oh,
and his
God,
injury.
yeah.
But before we do, another good game from Hunter Clark.
Yes.
Yeah, who has
My
had his
boy.
own battles with injury.
Yeah.
He had some fantastic moments during the game and really back to that sort of 2020-21 form where he looked silky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He
why
did.
I love him so
Me
much.
too.
Oh, and that's why I've been pumping him up.
Yes.
all
He's
He's
year. I
got a
love it.
really
Yes.
good football instinct
doesn't he?
and belongs in the midfield. He just needed time there.
Yeah.
And he's got it now. Yeah.
And he's so composed.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
he just knows what to do. He's really footy smart.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's quite rare to come across these days.
No
like
doubt.
just like, he's a real footy brain.
Yes.
But before we move on, because I know you were trying to like segue into the next topic, I would like to talk about Dougal Howard, please. And thank you.
Get away. I knew we wouldn't get away from it. Look, the floor is yours. I wouldn't
Thank you
dare
so
come
much.
between you and Dougal.
Thank you so much.
This week on Dougal. We need to come up with a segment, a Dougal.
Yeah, exactly.
Dougal does. Dougal.
Dougal does.
I don't know. Leave the name with me.
Okay. All right. Noted. So this is the first episode of my Dougal chat. It's obviously not the first dedicated time slot to my Dougal chat. Saw a bit of 2020 Dougal, actually. A bit of silly mistakes there by my boy, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Can I just I'm just sorry. I'm going to interrupt you right there. I bore witness to some, I wouldn't say criticism. I would say some strong feedback to Dougal via this person. sitting right here, Kat.
Feedback.
Red, white, blackjack's own Kat. I couldn't believe it myself.
Well,
Wow.
I only said something like, that's a bit silly, Dougal.
Nonetheless, that is a deviation from regular programming. So sorry to cut you off, but it is for we keep each other honest here, okay? And I'm just saying there was some feedback.
Yeah.
Silly.
You're not
Dougal
safe,
was a
Dougal
bit
Howard.
silly.
You're
No.
not safe.
Yeah, you think you are, but you're not.
And it just goes to show how much of an unbiased podcast this is. But he was a little bit silly. There was a few like silly push in the backs, but I feel like that's the reason why I started to love him as much as I do. 'Cause I'm like, he's just a bit goofy, this boy. But yeah, he had a great game. So I just want to give a shout out to my best friend. So
Yeah, well-
shout out to Doogie Woogie.
Speaking of shout outs, at what point on the coverage is it you calling out to him? Because if not,
I'm going to get it.
Someone is coming for Dougal.
And that we're not having it. So I'm going to play it to the microphone right now. So I was watching the replay and I'm 99.9%
Oh, you know what? I was
going
to mention that to you because I heard it and I was like, I wonder if that's Kat. I actually heard it.
It has to be because
I heard it.
Who else is this mental? Like it has to be. All right, ready? I hope you can hear that. We'll go again. So if you can't hear that properly, it's a Dougal. Okay, if you heard it from aisle 29 and we were the complete opposite.
I heard it on the replay.
On the replay, I was like, this voice radiates.
I knew it was you.
Oh, surely, like if it's not you, actually, can you reach out to Red, White and Black Chat mainly
because I have some words for you.
No, I was going to say mainly for your safety so that we can separate you two.
Exactly.
But if that is you, that is absolutely hilarious.
Oh,
that's all the coverage. Oh, Dougal.
Well, that's why he played so well because he heard that and he was like, oh,
she's here.
She's here. She's in the box, but she's here. He was panicking for a sec.
But she's here.
She's here.
Happy days. Well, again, I don't want to get too negative, but yes, Liam Henry, his knee injury, his season is over. That is.
Did we hear what it is?
It's some cartilage issue in his knee. Yeah. And I mean, knees are fickle things in football and other,
which is scary.
And other sports like high impact sports.
Like I blame Harley Reid. He tackled him when he didn't have the ball, mind you.
No, one of the best moments on the weekend was when Harley Reid was done for running too far.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, and it was just such a and not even holding the ball. It's like, okay, you're in the contest, you know, all that sort of stuff. He's trying to do a little fend off, trying to be a little cheeky. I loved
trying to do a little dusty.
Like, not today, Harley.
We kind of bullied him, which I didn't like.
Yeah,
we really got under his skin, and I feel like we're better than that because we've been calling all year for an aggressive side, and we want our players to be a little bit aggressive, but not when it's a kid, B a player, sorry about that, but be a player who is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I just feel like it makes us and I just feel like it makes us look a little bit pathetic.
I don't know. Really petty. He was pretty aggressive with us in the last game though, and I think it's warranted. He's a big kid and he was going to try and do his stupid fancy shit if we weren't going to do that. He needs to be taught a lesson.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't mind sort of giving it to him. He's being a bit arrogant, but
maybe because it's the first time we've seen it.
You want to play
like
a man, you're going to get beat like a man.
Yeah,
like that's it. True. That's how it goes.
It continued the whole game though, and I think that's what I had the issue with too. I was like, okay, like give it to him. Yeah, you know, at the time. Okay, no,
give it to him.
And it's like
he wants it. He's playing for it. That's what he wants. He wants the heat. You got it.
Fair enough. Love it.
You want it. You got it.
There you go.
Yeah. Speaking of heat, I know this is a St Kilda podcast.
Please don't say Dougal Howard. I swear, you're like, how hot was Dougal?
Also, yes. With his poor little blood nose. No, I was going to talk about Ginnivan and his good night to Collingwood.
How good was that?
That was unreal.
See, you loved it. Like I don't know.
Love to see a prick,
but I love to see even if St Kilda's involved because for me that is like theatre.
Yeah,
it is the theatre of footy. You love to see it. They were so belting Collingwood.
They were.
Look, he won a flag with them.
That's
right. He contributed to them, and all this talk in the media now. It's like, did Jack Ginnivan? Was he screwed over by Collingwood? It's like, oh, I think he's doing all right.
He's doing fine. And Collingwood sent him on his way because he went out and partied the night before the grand final.
Moonee Valley.
Like, goodbye. I would say goodbye too.
Yeah. Like, surely there's no hard feelings there. Like, Collingwood's season hasn't had the wheels fallen off.
Collingwood are a different breed. So you know, that cheer squad would have been giving it to him all day. So good on.
And he walked right up to them going, you know, left, right, good night. It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, to see some of them hanging over the fence just like
insane. Insane. And we beat Collingwood.
I know they play them once. So like you
love that so much.
The whole year just
season finished. I'm happy. We beat Collingwood.
And Sydney and soon Carlton. So anyway, we'll get to that. But that's probably a good time to take a moment. It was a clinical performance, so a clinical red, white and black chat, I reckon, just to, Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
shout
feel
out to
good about
Mason
it.
Wood though. We didn't mention him,
Oh,
and he had
mate.
a
Yeah,
great game
yeah.
as well.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, can't
Do you know,
forget
he's
him.
I
good.
really hope, at the best and fairest, I reckon he's in line for like best clubman,
Yeah,
you know?
Maybe.
absolutely.
Just like the one that Tom Campbell won last year that
Yeah.
everyone was like,
yeah.
but, someone who's
Surprised it wasn't him last year.
but a culture player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me because he's
Yeah.
been terrific this
He
year.
has.
The sad Sainer loves to say that he breastfeeds Nas because they live together or something. So like,
I don't
go
know.
dad. Like,
I don't know.
Go Mason Wood dad.
That far.
All right.
Mason Wood actually liked it.
I'm
Like on
sure he
Instagram.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay, if Mason's all
Can you
right with
imagine him
it,
being like, ha ha ha, that's
Like-
funny.
being like, hey, Naz.
Apparently I breastfeed you.
On that note, let's take a quick break before we get into some red, white and black mail.
All right.
Sweet.
You've got mail.
All right, let's get it going.
Put your questions in.
If you, at any time if you see the question box come up asking for red, white and black chat questions, please put a question in because we
love it. All right, so the first one. Did you ladies think that Zach's slide in smash and tap of the footy in their forward was epic?
Big fat yes.
Yeah, big fat yes,
Sure.
right?
Yeah,
big
and I
fat
know
yes.
that was sort of put Zach on ice until red, white and black mail.
Yeah.
Wasn't it fantastic? Again, another one, very memory-esque, just to sort of wind back the clock a little bit and have a really solid outing.
And that's why we
did.
recruited him in the first place for
Yep.
that grunt
Yep.
that Carly's talking about here. So I think, the answer to that is an absolute big yes.
Yeah, well done, Zach. Great week,
Agreed.
especially
Yeah.
after
Great week.
like some shit coverage during
Tell
the
them
week.
emailers to stuff it.
That's it.
All right.
Sending an email, like a troll email.
We're still on it, but
It's like literally the dumbest thing ever. Anyway.
I wonder if he sent one on the weekend. Be like, great job.
Hope he did.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to leave my
I
drafts.
was
Like-
wrong.
Send like a troll
Cooked.
letter.
Exactly.
Like mail it.
Pigeon it.
Can you imagine?
Send it by carrier pigeon.
All right. Do you agree that our team got 50% more visually pleasing with Stocker in? The boy can play.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
he's a-
happy with that.
He's a spunky boy, Liam Stocker.
Yeah, and he's just so cool.
But like,
Yeah.
I suppose, I mean spunky, I guess, in terms of like, he's got get up and go. But
Yeah.
like, yes, he's also all right on the
Yeah,
eye.
he's hot. He's
Yeah,
hot.
there you go.
You're hot, Liam. You're
Kind of
hot.
he's just lovely as well. Really
He's so lovable.
nice bloke.
Yeah.
And lovely.
Yeah.
I do want to know the story of the tattoos on his legs, but yeah.
They're a bit quirky.
Yeah.
get a little. They're quirky, but yeah, you do make the team hotter. Thank you.
Yeah. I can't judge on his tats. I've got Bris Vegas tattooed on me.
No, but there's a story behind that.
There
We
is a
like that.
story.
No, he was good on the weekend. I hope he's
He
in,
was.
like, in concussion protocols.
He is
Yeah.
fine.
Is he okay?
Yeah. He
Good.
was fine.
Oh,
That's why he went back on the field.
Oh, cool.
They tested him and he was all right. So
He
he
did
went back
go
out.
on. Sorry,
Yeah.
I think that's when they brought the scones back
Yeah,
out
no,
in
that's
the
all
box.
right. I
and
was in the
just-
trenches.
I was distracted.
I have been a bit harsh on Stocker this year, I have to say. I think that he kind of proved why I initially loved him on the weekend, which was that grunt. He's great tackler,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he tends to go that kind of one step forward that sometimes we lack on that centre half back flank. But no, he was good.
I agree with
and
that,
I
yeah.
think if he plays like that every week, then he gets a spot in our 22.
No doubt. He
Yeah.
belongs there.
Yeah.
Good question.
I like this. I like this. Can each of you tell us who you'd liken yourself to on the field? Players past and present.
Wow.
Who you'd like what?
Who'd liken yourself to? You can
Oh,
compare yourself
shit.
On the field.
I've said this before, so I'll just say it again. I'm definitely a mix between Max King and Jack Higgins because I feel like I've got the stature of like Jack Higgins because I'm like, short and not that whole muscly, but I can kick a bag like Max King. So that's my
true.
answer. And I've got a bit of G-Train in me as well. I like it. I like a bump. I like to bump my oppo on the field. I get a bit angry.
Oh, white line fever's great.
Yeah.
I get it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played competitive sport in a bit, but like, oh yeah, I get it.
So I'm like the all-star elite full forward, basically.
You heard it here.
Best of the best.
All-star, best forward, cat. On cat. What about you, Anna?
I don't know. Maybe I'd be like a Mason Wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I
that.
feel like your
I'm way
energy
too short.
radiates
I
Mason
agree. I was
Wood.
gonna say, like,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's-
clubman.
Yeah.
Yeah, best clubman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm too short for it, but every other way, I think I'm tall, so maybe that works.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. I want to go back in time a little bit. I want to say, like, in no way running capacity, but like Ozzie Jones, who played for us in the mid 90s through to the early 2000s, because he was just, he wasn't the flashiest player, wasn't the tallest, he wasn't
But
the
good.
fastest, but he just was a contributor.
Yeah.
A real contributor, and had been around for a long time. I really liked him, watching him as a kid. Yeah, just like a real trier, real goer.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
that's me. I'm a trier.
Yeah, it's a good answer. All right. We have no way of making finals. Should we debut with Keeler and Heath? I'm a big yes to Heath. I've been screaming for it forever. He played well on the weekend. Sandy only won by a point, and he played well on the weekend.
Well, Keeler kicked the goal to put us
Yeah,
in front.
yeah. Keeler, I'm not dying to see him like get into the side.
Yep.
But my main concern, I guess, with like our future is Marshall, right?
Mhm.
We haven't even mentioned it, but he won 10 clearances.
We forgot.
Again.
Yeah,
Another
right.
massive
Forgot
game.
because it's always good.
It's every week,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
So I think why I'm like so keen on getting Heath into the side
Yep.
is to see is he worth it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, I guess. And if we see the likes of him, okay, great, thumbs up. We kind of have a future plan. But if we don't, then we need a plan B. So that's why I want him ASAP.
I'm with you there. I
Yeah.
think there's
Me
no
too.
point in keeping someone on the list if he's just going to be a Sandy player.
Yeah.
I'm it's curious as to why he hasn't debuted yet. That being said, is 2 or 3 games at the end of this season enough to make that call on him?
I don't know.
I don't know. And I personally don't think that would be fair.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. Thinking about Max Heath all year, I'm like, what's the hold up?
Yeah.
Why isn't he? Is it just that there are other players ahead of him? But I don't know. Yeah, I want to see what he's worth, because otherwise,
Is
why?
there though in that position?
I don't know. I feel like, what are you going to tell Campbell? Too bad we're playing Max Heath. I think that's part of the issue. It's just a little bit clogged up.
But even still, we're not paying Tom Campbell at the minute.
No, we're
either.
not.
So it's like,
But I
doesn't make
feel
much
like if we
sense,
do
doesn't it?
make a play a ruck, that's the guy that we're going to give the chance to.
well, it's hard,
but-
isn't it? Because if he doesn't play, it'd be ruck forward.
Yeah.
So who is playing that role at the moment is Machito.
Right. No, I agree that we should get him out of there. I would
Yes.
love to see
Mm.
Max Heath play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheeto's not a
Trying to-
ruckman.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Good
No.
boy, Cheeto.
He's just
Good
doing
boy.
what he's told. He's
Yeah.
just filling the holes.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're so right. Oh, Beck. Shout out to Beck. We love Beck. Can they hurry up and sign Mason on for another 3 seasons already?
33.
Yeah, I was going to say 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you talking about? Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Surely.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they will.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
he'll stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he will.
Yeah. I mean, he's excelling.
Mason's a good
Isn't
boy.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Percentage booster, big green tick.
Yes.
Now time to kick the Bombers out of the 8 ?
Or, earlier in the year, literally like 2 weeks ago, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, Essendon are finally going to do it. They're going to play finals. Saw the result on Friday night. First of all, lol. Second of all, when I saw the ladder, I was like, you are joking.
Yeah,
that they
I still
couldn't-
can't get over Brisbane
Yeah.
and
yeah,
where Brisbane is.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's not.
Yeah.
Right? I'd love to beating a big Victorian club is an excellent thing at the best of times. We did it against
Yeah.
Collingwood earlier in the year.
Mhm.
God, wouldn't it be good to knock off Essendon? It would
I
be
would
nice.
love. See, that's the game where there'd be no calm at the end of that game.
no.
It'd just be a frenzy
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yep.
And that's because I'm still mad that we lost them earlier. I have a
Yes.
big grudge because
Yes.
that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by bombers
No.
and it was
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah, no,
I would love to see them just smash it out.
Well, I'm sure that our smash it out, smash them. No, I'm surely our assistant coaches are going over the Adelaide win with a fine tooth comb because they second quarter they kicked 8 goals in a row or something like that. Essendon are fallible.
Mm-hmm.
They can be stopped. Yeah, and I think we can do it. We bring our game style against Sydney, our running game style, high pressure game style. We can beat the Bombers very easily.
Yeah.
It would be very nice.
And this may sound a little bit silly, but we lost that game.
Yes.
Like,
time.
do you get what I'm saying?
They didn't win it.
Exactly. We
that's
lost
why I hated
game.
it. That's why it'd be fitting to just be like, oh, remember when we gave that to you?
Yeah.
We're taking it back now.
And
it was ours.
Yeah, so thanks. One each. I think if Steely is true to his word and we're treating every game like a final, then let's see it on Saturday at Marvel because they are right for the picking.
Yeah.
It'd be so good. Well, is that it for our Red Button Black Mail?
That is. So yet again, thank you to everyone who writes them in.
Isn't it?
We have so much fun. We
I
love it.
We love it. So please send them in.
We love it.
Well, I mean, just on the topic of next weekend, before we go to Cat Goes Whack and Anna Goes Bananas.
Yeah.
Saturday, 4:40 at Marvel. So if you have commitments like footy, like
I'll still be there.
That's it, like kids footy.
After I kick my snags.
Oh, it'll be a massive day for you, really.
Yeah.
You'll kick 10, then you'll come to the ground and,
Yeah, and watch Dougal intercept 10, best day ever.
You go kick 10. No, but this is it. It's gonna be good. We're lucky at Marvel it's under the roof. So, it's a really comfortable way to watch footy in the dark, old Melbourne winter. We've mentioned it just before. I think Essendon are fallible. I think they're gettable. Yeah. We've just got to bring that running pressure game for 4 quarters.
Yes.
Correct.
And coming off a win, vibes are high, vibes are good. Let's hope that we can.
Let's see some support at the game, guys.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Essendon are a big club. They're going to be there. And I don't want to be screaming by myself.
No. No, well, we'll all be there. Of course we will. It's gonna be good on the weekend. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, so am I, which is odd.
It is odd, I know, but it's coming off a win. It's the early days. Early days in the week. We're all feeling positive.
Yeah.
Before I hand it over to you girls, we didn't do it earlier in the year because it wasn't a segment yet, the ones that got away.
Oh, yeah.
When it came to Essendon. So a few came to mind for me. The first one, most obviously, is Jade Gresham.
Yes.
Yep. Nick Hind.
Which I was sad to lose Nick Hind,
Me too.
to be honest. I thought he was good running off half back.
Yeah, me too.
I was really mad about him playing very well at the start of the year.
Yeah. And then he was.
But now he's proved that he's just Gresh.
Yeah.
And Thank you for that.
He's just Gresh.
Yeah.
You be you,
He's
Gresh.
a super
just
medi sub.
I was going to say,
he's
that's
super
why I
medi
like him
sub.
so much. I know he's a medi sub. The other one I thought about that came to mind was Jake Carlisle.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. He battled for us.
He
I
did.
mean, I wouldn't
Through
say
some shit times.
some really shit times. It's not lost on me. Like we should do a podcast at the end of the year about like draft picks that got away because my God, but like we
The
traded.
list is long.
Oh my God, we traded pick 5 for him, and pick 5 ended up being Darcy Parish, and that haunts me every day. The other one that I wrote down, so I made my note before podcast. The other one, which broke my heart. It honestly, footy breaks your heart all the time if you're a St Kilda supporter. The one that broke my heart was Brendan Goddard when he left. I understand why he left. I get it. It made total sense. It was that footage when he cried after the match, like because you can tell. It's almost like you could tell he didn't want to go, but he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's back with us now,
And then look at what happened, like when he was
God.
at Essendon. That was obviously a big scandal and things like that. So really unlucky in his footy career in that regard.
Yeah.
But love to see him back with us.
now.
He's unreal, isn't he?
The lucky last one, even though it's Essendon but it's reserves, Stephen Milne was on Essendon's reserves list.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I
he
did
won,
not know
he won a
that.
grand final for Essendon's 2s. I want to say it was like 99 or 2000 or something like that. Yeah, and then was drafted to us. And then there you go.
Well, thank you, Essendon, for that.
Yeah, thank you kindly.
Fun fact.
That's it from me. Kat, time to go. Kat goes whack. Boom.
I've got 2, so I'm going to try and not waffle too much. I don't want like our viewers and listeners to be like, oh, here the girls go again being political, et cetera, but this shit needs to be addressed.
I think if it,
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off with
No.
your whack, but it's not political
At all.
At all. Like,
No.
Okay, good, I'm glad.
It's really not.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, yeah, you are so right.
It's not political.
It's not
Someone
political.
else is making it political, not you.
You are
Yeah.
so right.
I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off, but I just,
No,
want,
not
to,
at
I
all.
just
Yeah.
want to back you up. This is
Yeah.
not political.
Thank
this is
you.
common human decency.
Right.
Yeah.
We have no idea what Kat's about to say. It's just a shock to the system. But
What could it possibly be?
anyway, go on.
So big congratulations to the man that we all love, Bradley Hill, for his
Yay.
Well done,
for
Hilary.
his
Who
250.
re-signed, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good
he
boy, Hilly.
did.
Yes,
Good boy.
We love you.
So we embrace all cultures. We embrace absolutely every single player who walks in and out of the club.
Yes.
Indigenous or not, that doesn't matter. I don't understand why Bradley Hill was absolutely ridiculed on social media because when he was carried through the race at the end of his game, he held up the Indigenous flag. I think I saw at least 15 comments saying that it is an Australian sport.
It's an Australian flag.
Yeah.
It is an Australian
Exactly.
flag.
But that's what people were also saying, but like with obviously a negative connotation, like it's not an Australian flag kind of thing. I think that is absolutely appalling.
Yep.
Hey,
yeah.
it's his. It was his, like, all right, he's an Aboriginal.
Yeah.
His people first,
Yeah.
right? They were here first.
Yeah.
So they get to have a flag.
That's exactly
And you get to
right.
suck it up and look at it while he gets held down
That's
the line
exactly
for
right.
his 250th
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Why would that make you upset?
Yeah.
Shame on you.
And I'm
Love it.
sorry, but if that is your viewpoint to such a wonderful culture that is our Indigenous culture of Australia, then you don't have the privilege to enjoy the likes of Bradley Hill, Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira, Marcus Windhager. I don't want to miss anyone.
Lance
Lance
Collard.
Collard.
Lance Collard. I feel like I'm still going to miss someone
No,
because
that's okay.
we do have a big group of boys, but you do not get to enjoy their bloody football if you can't keep your damn mouth shut
Yeah.
and put your fingers back in your pockets where they bloody belong
Yep.
and let them embrace their beautiful culture that is.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic whack.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's
And
yeah.
what makes you think that Indigenous culture didn't have a hand in the formation of Australian football?
It's
Exactly right.
fundamentally
It's
did.
always been there. We're just recognizing that now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shame. Shame.
Yeah.
I wonder why. It really worries me why people get so. Why someone expressing the pride in their Indigenous identity
Yeah.
frightens them
Yeah.
so much. And let's be honest, it is something. They're frightened, they're
Yeah.
scared, and that's why they put out a comment like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not frustration.
Intimidated.
That's
Yeah.
right. Anyone can argue that it's frustration or it's ridiculous. No, they're scared. What are you scared of? You know, this is someone expressing their pride in their identity, pride in their history.
That's exactly right.
Like I saw that and
Yeah.
thought, how fantastic, and then continued to move on with my
Yeah.
life. Like
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
thought it was so
understand.
nice,
I thought
actually.
it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And you just go, why are you so precious?
I won't even lie to you girls. I didn't even bat an eyelid when I saw
Me
it.
either. I thought
Like,
it was nice.
do you know what
Like,
I mean? Yeah, I didn't. That thought of, oh, it's nice didn't even
Yeah.
come across me. I was like, oh, you know, like it is. It's
Yeah.
obviously it's beautiful. But I was like, oh, Hill.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at him. You know, I'm
Of
looking
course.
at. Yep. Okay. Wonderful. Love you, Hilly. Back on the wines. Like it was nothing
Yeah, but
in my mind,
but
which it
as it
shouldn't
sh-
be to anyone.
And this is the thing. It's like it should be a non-issue.
Yeah.
Because it is a non-issue. It's
Yeah.
someone expressing their pride in their identity.
Yeah.
You know, we could wax lyrical forever about just the, like you say, the majesty
Yeah.
of some very skilled Indigenous footballers that have contributed to Kilda
Mhm.
and the competition as
Yeah.
a whole. Yeah, I think people don't have enough to
Yeah.
worry about.
Yeah.
Mm.
Little side note, I watched on Channel 2 on iView. There's a new series out. Have you ever watched You Can't Ask That
Yes.
on ABC? I
No.
love that. Oh, I love that show.
Yes.
No, it's a theme every
Yeah.
week, and they get a bunch of people who the theme is relevant to. So they'll have one they had one that was like Indigenous Australians. They had one that was like people who work at a carnival. They had people who have OCD. They had people who used to be on reality TV, right?
Okay.
And it's just
That's great.
anonymous questions. They just sit on a stool, pick up the question. read
Oh,
it,
I
and
might have
answer it.
seen some of this. I might have seen.
I digress. There's a new series by those creators. It's called I Was Actually There. And it picks specific big moments in time for people who are actually there and they recall their
Oh,
experience.
that's fun.
There's one on like Port Arthur. There's one on the Boxing Day tsunami. there is one on the day that Nikki Winmar was vilified at Victoria Park. And I watched it last week. It was absolutely sensational. Those people who want to get on those keyboard comments, Nikki Winmar was interviewed as part of it. Gilbert McAdam, another wonderful Indigenous footballer in our history, was on it. Do you want to say what's the harm in me expressing that idea about, he shouldn't have a flag? That person should watch that episode. I mean, amongst a whole lot of other informative literature to take in. How ridiculous.
It is
Love
ridiculous.
the whack.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
What's
I'm
your
with you.
Sorry, ramble. What's your second one?
What is my second one? Okay. So our deliverance inside 50.
Oh, I mentioned it earlier.
we did.
We did.
Not.
We'll keep it short and sweet, but I just want to like put my statistical brain cap on and say that in the first quarter we had 67 inside 50s.
What?
And we kicked 3 goals and 3 points.
Yeah,
so we
that's right.
converted 6 times out of 67.
Yeah.
67 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yes.
First half, maybe.
I mean, I think
For the
that was
whole
the
game?
game. I think it was 70 for the game. 67 was.
Whoa.
67, I think, was into the fourth
One moment,
quarter.
please.
I think.
I was
We had like 70.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that's for the game.
Yeah.
Because if it was for the first quarter, then why did we win by
but it was
800 points?
Yeah. But it was, I think we had 20 something in the first quarter and we only had.
It was for the game.
We only had.
Okay.
Yeah. We only had 3 goals.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was like 22 inside 50s and 3 goals.
Well, it's
and
that
that was still putrid.
It's that ongoing narrative, right,
Bad.
where we've talked about it all year. Better teams than West Coast have and will cut us up if we do not convert.
Yeah.
Yep. So
And willingly so.
still on this radar
Yeah.
with red, white and black chat.
Yeah.
Banana time.
Oh, banana time.
It is banana.
My bananas I'm a little unprepared for. I just found out about it today.
Is it going to be like a lolly banana, like a nice
No.
one? Or is it going to be like one of those, that
No.
sad black rotting banana in
your
your,
angry.
what
are you doing?
your fruit
one?
bowl? Like I should throw it out. It stinks a bit.
Yeah, I should throw it out. It'll be short though, just not sweet. To whoever what is it? St Kilda Uncensored, is that it?
On Facebook. Yeah.
On Facebook, whoever posted or reposted Marshy's positivity and put a turd on it, you're the turd, mate. I really don't understand why you support St Kilda other than you're looking for an excuse to be miserable and they just deeply disappointed you on the weekend because we flogged the other team. Find something else to be sad about because St Kilda doesn't need your crap.
Thank you. Yay. Yeah, that was literally someone getting upset about joy.
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
Sorry, you're
Go
so funny.
support like the Tigers or something. Like, why are you doing that here? We don't need that.
Love
We
it.
don't need that.
Yeah.
If you can't be happy with a win like that, then you're mentally screwed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
someone was upset about fellow St Kilda supporters being happy that we
Yes.
were performing well.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that we were around each other and having a good time. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Be miserable somewhere else, please.
That's
Like
it.
nobody likes it.
Yeah. Might have been the same bloke that sent the email to Zach Jones. Just
Maybe.
just a miserable jerk, Just miserable. Well, I can't think of a better note to finish other than to say 4:40 at Marvel on Saturday. Get down, especially if you have time beforehand. Come to the social club in the Victory Room on level 1. There's plenty that goes on in there every week. Lucky door prizes, raffles. We got guest speakers, the players, and we've got a few on the entry list. So we might have some pretty big names coming in. We also do a hard quiz where there's prizes from the club. So please get down at any point before the game.
Yes,
But
that's it.
regardless of whether you arrive before, you arrive on the siren, or whether you arrive at halftime, get down and support the boys because those Bombers are ripe for the picking. And wouldn't it be nice
Wouldn't it?
to be at Marvel when the final siren goes and we're in front?
Yes.
Let's hope, hey?
We
That's
hope.
it.
We can only hope.
And then platform 28 after for some pat chat and some bevies.
Woo!
Let's
Fantastic.
do it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, girls. It's going to be big. All right. See you next week. Thank
Come
you,
the
Nana.
sa-
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We love having you, Anna.
We do.
Come the Saints.
Bye. Bye.